Greetings people of YouTube, it is I, Warsaw Matt, and it's January 2015. Happy New Year and all that malarkey. Everyone's done that, but yeah, Happy New Year. Okay, 2015. What's coming up in December? Yeah, that's right, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Oh my god. Yes, excited I am, just a little bit. So I thought I'd use the year to make Star Wars type videos, and a lot of them are going to be book reviews. Well, don't look at me like that, you know, I read books, and I might as well tell people what I think about books, because otherwise I'm just like, book review for January, and we are starting off with Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void by, what's his name, Tim Leben. And basically this book sucks. No, seriously, it's not fantastic. It's set 35,000 years, 35,000 years into the Star Wars universe. No, actually, I beg your pardon, it says 25,793 years, which is a smidge specific. The first thought that I've actually got about this is that, do we have to go that far back into the past in terms of, you know, the mythology? Now, I liked stuff like the Knights of the Old Republic. You know, I really liked that. I mean, I love the novels, I like the computer game, I just love pretty much everything about it. But this, it just seems that they've gone a little too far back in the whole, well, in the whole thing. Is, you know, there's not many ways I can actually put this. Because to my mind, if you keep going further and further and further back, eventually it's going to come up with something like a long time ago on a building site in Islington. You know, it's like, how much further back are they going to say, right, this is where it all begins? I was looking forward to this one because essentially I thought it was actually going to be the start. You know, I thought it was going to be something mysterious is going on, and then through that they would actually become, you know, Dawn of the Jedi. But this is not the case, because in this, the Jedi have already been around for, was it 10,000 years previously, whereby other stuff has happened. I was just thinking, oh, just hang on a minute. Dawn of the Jedi, to me, means exactly that. The formation of the Jedi, you know, and brilliant, you know, stuff like that. I'm okay. It just irks me a little, but, you know, I'll get over that. Anyway, the book itself. The book is about a brother and sister team, Lenore and Dale, spelled D-A-L, which actually is pronounced Dahl, but, you know, we can look past that. Why is this book not so good? Well, honestly, not a fat lot happens. I mean, not a fat lot at all. It's split up into two time periods. We've got the present, which Lenore is now a Jedi Ranger, I think they call it, and she's working for the Jedi. Now, did you notice that? Not Jedi, Jedi. It's spelled J-E-D apostrophe I-I, Jedi, which I really thought was a bit weak, if I'm honest. You know, if you're going to have something like that, you just stick with Jedi, because it even says, look, Jedi, not Jedi. But I'm picky, I know. Anyway, so not a fat lot happens in this book, because we keep on dancing between Lenore and Dale discovering the Force and being, you know, Jedi trained, and then something, you know, whatever happens there, and it leads up to the, you know, the present day, where Lenore is going after her supposedly dead brother who's got this this insane plan to just wipe out everything with this new weapon they've called dark matter. Yeah, so basically they've already given away half the plot by saying your brother is dead, but now he's not dead. And through it, the whole Lenori's this very nice, very warm, very sort of, she's very much the hero of the piece. She's got this, the whole Luke Skywalker thing going, that she's very innocent and pure and all this jazz. Whereas Dale is a complete cockend. I mean, a total dick. Lenori embraces the Force. Dale wants nothing to do with it. Well, normally you'd say, well, why don't you just go and somewhere while, Lenori goes and becomes a Force user. But that wouldn't make a decent book, would it? And it still hasn't. So the whole thing's all over the place for me. And I just... basically the whole journey of Lenori and Dale becoming, essentially Jedi Knights, and in Dale's case he turns to the dark side and he becomes, I don't know, one of the early Sith Lords, even though at this point Sith is actually a species, not a designation of Dark Jedi. Yeah, it doesn't make any bloody... The more I talk about it, it just makes absolutely no sense. And essentially, it's them walking through the woods. Ah, danger! Whoosh! Smash! I'm a brilliant Jedi! I'm a cockend. It just carries on like that. And the whole book, it does nothing really happen. It takes so long to get going. And the end of the book, it ends on a cliffhanger, which we're probably never going to see, because now, with Disney now owning Star Wars, essentially, all these plans for what was probably going to be another book series has probably just disappeared. Yeah, we already know they've cancelled the expanded universe and that they're going to release novels in terms of the new film. Which, from a marketing point of view, that makes perfect sense. You can see why they've done it. But, so yeah, I can't... Nothing about this book makes sense. It's boring. It doesn't go anywhere. It's constant, run up to a meeting between brother and sister, who, the sister thought the brother was dead, but even though we know he's not dead, and so it's very predictable, very, very predictable. Another thing that really bothers me about this is that, look at the title, Star Wars, right? Remember that. In the Old Republic series, we have a war, the return of the Sith. Stuff is happening in that prehistory that still has ramifications way down the line to, A New Hope and onwards. And there's a fight going on, there is a war. And, whatever Star Wars book that you read, there's always some sort of conflict, there's always some sort of battle, there's always something going on. With this, nothing is happening. Nothing. In fact, they spend half the book talking about a war that's already happened. I thought, well, why not show us that instead of this empty, soulless piece of crud? Oh, okay, I'm sorry I'm ranting, but this book, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more angry it makes me. Because this is a really bad book. So anyway, it's set in this sort of null space of not a fat lot going on, and yeah, if you really want to read this book, do so, but do yourself a favour, wait until it's £1 or something on Amazon, get it, and if you just want it for completeness sake, get it even cheaper, then just stick it on your shelf, and then you can say, right, that's it, I've got it, but it's a bag of wank. It really is. It's so bad. So many things about this book also annoy me. 25,000 years before everything that we know about Star Wars. Okay? There are no lightsabers. That doesn't bother me as such, but I would have thought, oh, maybe this will be something where we see the first lightsabers and there's something unstable about them or so. Anything like that. That doesn't happen. And the Jedi are, as they have, in my mind, always been, this bunch of sort of unicky, very, you know, very up themselves kind of class of wizard. You know, but wizards that don't want to do anything, you know, they just want to watch and not interfere, but when it does sort of suit them then they will interfere. You know, this is why I've always had this deeply held conviction that stories about Jedi suck because the Jedi don't want to do anything, whereas stories about the Sith and the dark side and stuff like that, they are far more interesting because they're so much more dynamic. There is darkness, there's emotion, there's feeling, there's always something going on, there's always a hell of a lot of action. In this, the half of the book that's set in the present day has got the most action, and that's what makes that half of the book feel a lot more Star Warsy. Whereas just walking through the woods, bickering brother and sister, you know, one that's all lightness and sweetness and the other one who's a complete prick, you know, it does nothing for me. They could have just split this down into 2 novellas and said, right, this is the story of how Lenore and Dale happened, and this is the sequel, and then we're going to end that on a cliffhanger, and then maybe we'll get somewhere, you know, further with that in later books. But that's not going to happen now. Okay, I think I'm done. I think you've listened to me ranting on enough. So essentially, Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void. Just forget it. It's not worth it. If you'd be totally forgiven if you get about halfway through this book and just gone, yeah. What can you say? So that was my review. Yes, it was a negative one, but I suppose in a way you got to expect these things. You really have got to expect these things. Not every Star Wars book's going to be perfect. I just hope that they're not as bad as this one was. I really do hope that it wasn't anywhere near as bad as this one was. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm Warsaw Matt. I've had a rant. Find me YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. You know the drill by now. Go and do your thing. And I'll talk to you all very, very soon because I want to try and do a video each month about Star Wars. It might be me having a bash about what's coming up. There'll be a lot more book reviews. I want to try and get through a book a month. 1 book a month. I'm not going to say 2 books or 3 books a month. I don't read that fast. But a book a month, and the next one in February is going to be Tarkin. I am reading that, and I can just say, actually, to quote a very good friend of mine, faith restored. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, I'm Warsaw Matt, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Force be with you, and yeah.